My mum got with my stepfather when I was about 3 years old, and we moved to a place called Electrona. It was a pretty rough neck of the woods. Very high violence rate, abuse with women, and drug and alcohol constantly, slamming doors and I'd punch holes in walls and take off in the car, doing wheelies down the road and carrying on like an idiot. I was severely paranoid, and to the point where I'd go into a shop and I'd think people were whispering and talking, like I'm hearing my name spoken, and I started stressing out. And that's when it really hit me that there was something wrong.
I really didn't understand what was happening at the time. It just seemed like there's something wrong with my husband, but I don't know what it is. And that lasted, for years.
I've been taking drugs and drinking through this point of time until I was 28 or something like that.
And people would just avoid us because they couldn't predict Josh either, even family.
And been done drink driving numerous amounts of time.
We couldn't go out anywhere anymore because he was so aggressive.
I couldn't rest. I was up all night. I would go through hyperactive states where I was hypo for, weeks at the end.
Someone even just looked the wrong way, or it would set him off. And then he started to feel like people were talking about him all the time.
And then when I was down, I was so low and down and sad and crying and
having meltdowns and having times when he was really angry and punching holes in walls, to being in a ball on the floor, to not being able to socialise at all with anybody because the paranoia sort of setting in.
Not many people said it to my face. No good, drop-kick drug addict, don't care about his family, and too stupid to be with him, pretty much.
He took off one night in the car really drunk, and I didn't know where he was for 2 or 3 days, and I rang the hospital and he wasn't there, and I rang the police and he was there. He had been in remand for 2 days and no one had let me know. It's not a very nice feeling. It's sort of like a punch in the stomach. I had no car, no money, no partner and 2 kids, so that was a really challenging time, and that for me was, that's it. I just can't take any more of this, I'm not putting up with any more, and I just cut ties with Josh while he was in jail. For the first month we didn't go and see him.
You'd be a liar if you said you wasn't scared the first couple of weeks in there. I think I had a lot of time to reflect on my own actions, time to dry out, from alcohol and drugs, and time to think clearly.
It was actually quite a very lonely time. There wasn't a lot of options or people that I could go to for help. I think because a lot of people saw that I was doing it a bit tough, that was my lesson for having a child young. So people didn't really want to help because I had to learn the hard way. I put myself there, so I had to get myself back out of it.
A short period of time seems like it's a long time when you're locked up. I've only seen Nick and the children a handful of times to realise how much I needed them and I wanted to be with them.
The first time I met him, he came up to me with this great big beanie on that went all the way down his back. He had dreadlocks, and I just remember thinking, wow, this guy's a bit out there.
She went to Elizabeth College, I went to Hobart.
And I thought he was quite quirky.
I got a friend who asked her because I didn't feel I had the confidence.
It was quite different.
We snuck off for the night and stayed at a lady's house looking after her children. And that night she said, yeah, I'll go out with you.
Things weren't really going so well for me at home with my mum, and so I moved out really early when I was 16. And I didn't really have anywhere to go, so I moved in with Josh and his parents for a short time, and then I wanted to get a flat in town, so Josh decided that he would move out with me. So we moved out when we were only about 16.
We moved to Moona and lived in Moona in a little unit, and not long after that Nikki was pregnant.
We were still 17 when we had Elise, so nearly 18.
Whilst Nikki was pregnant, we moved back to Hillingville so she'd be closer to her outside family. And my daughter came along and she was 3 months premature, which that was a big thing that she survived at that age. We were viewed on by the staff at the hospital that, you know, sort of young parents with a little baby and turn their nose up at us. You know, and a lot of people, you know, Nikki's family, and didn't think that we'd last, you know, a year with a child instead of, you know, going on 15. And when I came out of prison, you know, Nikki said, you know, no drinking, or want to get back with me, no drinking.
I still could see that something wasn't right, and I was watching a documentary one night about Stephen Fry, and he had bipolar. And he was telling all these stories and all this information that he had, and I was thinking, oh my God, that sounds just so much like Josh.
I had trouble learning. I got sort of left behind with being able to read and write because I was so hyperactive and my brain couldn't slow down enough to be able to do it.
But we decided to go along to the doctor anyway, and the doctor had suspicions as well, so then it was on to referrals, and then found out that, yeah, he did have bipolar.
It wasn't a way out of saying what I did was wrong, or the way I behaved was wrong. It was just a way I'm thinking more I can sort of get through this now.
Because we finally had something to pinpoint, you know, and something to blame, almost, rather than blaming Josh. And it wasn't my fault either anymore. There was an illness that was wrong. It wasn't that he was a bad person or that I'd been a bad girlfriend. It was just that there was an illness that hadn't been diagnosed. So that was huge for us.
I'd like my children to see that me seeking help and getting better broke the cycle. My son ain't going to turn out and behave like I am because he looks up to me how I am now. And my daughter isn't going to go out and get with an idiot how I used to be, you know.
After about a year or so, I was working at the school as a teacher's aide, and they needed somebody there, and Josh asked if he could be that person, and they were a bit sort of weary at first, which is understandable, but then they decided to give him a go, and he actually proved to be fantastic.
Like the sort of doctor said, you know, some people go through their whole life before they realise that they need to change. They sort of made it halfway.
I think for a long time people didn't have any time for Josh because they were so used to his behaviour, the way that he was before. And then when he went to jail, it was just expected that would happen because he played up so much. And then when he came out, he had to work a long time to prove that he wasn't that person anymore, which he's now done. People really look up to him and have a lot of respect for him now, which is beautiful, which I'm so glad because I get to see all the beautiful things, but they don't.
For me, if I can do something good every day to help someone, I feel like I've had a good day.
And working with the young boys at the school, they were sort of going, some of them, not all of them, were going down a similar path, and he was able to say, well, look what happened to me when I did that. I used to be like you, and I did this, and this is where I ended up. And they had so much respect for him because he wasn't just telling them stories, he was actually telling them the truth.
I wanted to make the film because I feel that there's other people with this condition or similar issues, and I think that if they really think about it and get off their bum and go and seek help, that they'll be able to get help well before I got help. And one family, you know, could be changed just by hearing this.
I ask of my kids is that you just be honest and you just be caring and compassionate and help as many people as you can. So that's what we've got out of this experience. The most beautiful thing is, and the best thing, to take your mind off your own worries is to go and help somebody else, and that's exactly what we try to do every day.
It's actually quite warm. Oh dear.